Hello, how are you doing today? Fantastic? That's what I like to hear. What's my name? My name is Profe Kyle. What is my job? My job is to teach you English, and not any old English, the best English. And today I am doing a simple English video. A simple English video about what, you say? A simple English video about my struggles with acne, what I'm doing at the moment to fight it, and what I do to keep myself looking young. So if you're a young lady or an older lady watching this, maybe this will be boring, but at the same time, I have talked to different women in Latin America, and they are surprised how good my skin looks, how soft it is, and even though they don't always ask what I do, I assume that in their heads they think,
oh, this Canadian guy just has really good genetics. That's why his skin is so fantastic.
but no. So if you're somebody that doesn't have the best skin in the world, you have acne, you have dry skin, you have skin that is prone to wrinkles, and this will be a good video for you just to get a different perspective from somebody like myself who doesn't have the best skin in the world but is able to maintain their skin well. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you want some extra help while you're watching, there are subtitles, so just click right here to turn on the subtitles in English or in Spanish. But enough chit chat, let's get into the video. Now this may surprise you, but I do not have the best genetics for skin. You see, on both sides of my family, they have problems with skin. On my father's side, all of the men, my father, my uncle, my grandfather, they have acne-prone skin. And what does that mean? That just means that they are susceptible. It is easy for them. They suffer from acne, usually starting from puberty and lasting until they are adults. And that is also my case. When I was a young boy, I didn't have any acne. But as soon as I hit puberty, all of a sudden, I had a really bad cystic acne. Now, if you don't know what cystic acne is, it's one of the worst forms of acne you can get. Basically, they're giant sacs of pus below the skin, and if you press them, try to pop them, they explode like a volcano. But you don't want to make them explode, because when you make them explode and you pop them, these giant sacs of pus, white pus, they leave behind a scar. So actually, if I shave off my beard, the beard that I have right now, and you get me at the right angle in the sunlight, you will be able to see marks, scars on my cheeks. And those scars are from acne, past cystic acne that I popped when I was probably 15 years old, 16 years old. What did I do at that time to fight the acne? Well, in Canada and the United States, the most common way to fight cystic acne is with a medicine called Accutane. So I went to a dermatologist in my province of Canada, and they prescribed to me some Accutane. Now, a big problem with Accutane is that it can affect you hormonally. And I cannot be completely sure if that happened to me. I wasn't completely comfortable that I was taking medicine that was affecting my hormones. And not only that, I took the Accutane and it didn't really seem to have an effect on my acne. Who knows? maybe my cystic acne got better, but from what I saw, I still had cystic acne. So it didn't really seem to work. So after about 1 or 2 years, I stopped taking Accutane. After that, I experimented with a whole bunch of things. I heard that cystic acne, bad acne cases could be caused by diet. So there have been times in my life where I drank lots of water, didn't do anything. There have been times in my life where I stopped consuming dairy, even though I love dairy and my genetics are made for dairy. I stopped consuming it to see if it would help me with my battle with acne, but that really didn't seem to do anything either. I also stopped eating bad food to see if that would help. And while I would say that, for example, eating healthier, drinking more fluids did help my acne, I still had acne. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that you could do things to fight acne with regular acne products. And before I get into that, let's talk a little bit about my mother. So I have my father and his family. They have a history of acne problems, which I inherited. And then we have my mother. My mother, many people who meet her, whether they're Americans, Canadians, Latinos, will comment that my mother is a beautiful woman. And I do agree, my mother has very good genetics, a fantastic jawline, which she gave to me, and nice features, such as beautiful eyes, which she also gave to me. Well, it could also be my father. My father has nice eyes as well. But there's one thing about my mother which isn't good, and that's her skin. I remember as a young boy, my mom would show me her hands, and they were always really wrinkly. My mother had the hands of an 80-year-old woman. So my mother has always been prone to wrinkles at a very young age. So she looks very beautiful, and she does look young for her age, but she does have a lot of wrinkles. Now, it could be for many factors. Could be because when she was younger, she didn't use sunscreen when she was in the sun. And obviously, if you burn yourselves in the sun too many times, that's going to cause you to get wrinkles. Or it could also just be genetics. So as you can see, because of my father and his family's struggles with acne, and my mother and her struggles with getting wrinkles at a young age, I really don't have good skin. So it wasn't until recently that I realized that I need to do some things to keep myself looking good as I age, because right now I am 32 years old and I'm not gonna get any younger. One of the things with me, which has helped me in this battle with my skin, is that I don't consume drugs. So that means I don't smoke, I don't drink. I do drink, but I don't drink that much. It's not like every weekend I'm throwing back rum and colas because I need to get wasted to have an exciting life. No. I usually stay away from alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't do cocaine. I don't do any hard drugs. And most people know that if you stay away from alcohol, you stay away from drugs. You also sleep well, and I love to sleep well, getting between 6 and 8 hours of sleep every night. And I have a regular sleep schedule, more or less. If I do those things, I know that I'm going to age a lot more slowly than other people who don't do that. And that does seem to be my case. I would say for the first 30 years of my life, I really didn't do that much to take care of my skin. It's just because I had a healthy lifestyle, I wasn't aging very fast. But like I said, I know I'm getting older. I know my skin isn't going to stay like this forever. And of course, I'm already beginning to notice I'm getting crow's feet under my eyes, and I'm getting wrinkles on my forehead. So I want to slow down this wrinkling process. And I talked about acne. I want to make sure that any acne that I do have is not very visible, or the effects of it aren't visible for most people. So what am I doing right now to keep myself looking young and to battle my acne? So let's go through my routine. Maybe you'll learn something. What do I got? So I try to shower once a day at least, but if I'm in someplace warmer, like someplace in Latin America, I'll shower twice a day because there's a good chance I'm going to be sweating during the day, and I want to make sure that there are there's no sweat, there are no particles, there's nothing clogging my pores and causing me to get acne. So first thing I do is I make sure I shower at least once a day and twice a day if I'm in a place which is a little bit warmer. I shower in the morning, and after I shower in the morning, I like to use this. First thing I use is something called, now who knows, I could be saying it wrong. If you're a young woman or an older woman, you might already know how to say this better than me. But this is called hyaluronic acid, 2%. So I think you can see it right there. Now what does this do if you don't know what it is? Basically, you want to apply this as soon as you get out of the shower, and this acid keeps moisture inside the skin. So if you have wrinkles around your eyes and your forehead, right here under your nose, it's going to help keep moisture there, and it will help slow down the aging process. So first thing I do is I put this on my face. After that, I apply vitamin C serum. Now for women, a lot of women, this is incredibly common. So if you are a young woman, you might already be using this. For my research, this is vitamin C from La Roche-Posay, a French skincare company. This is the best vitamin C formula you can get, which isn't incredibly expensive. I do think it's a little bit expensive, but it's not incredibly expensive like other formulas, and it's high quality. And I don't want to tell you exactly what vitamin C serum does, but from what everything the experts say that I follow, basically it just slows down the aging process of the skin. I believe it has something to do with antioxidants, and the antioxidants fight the aging process somehow. I'm not going to tell you all the details. Now, if it's a sunny place in the world, and I'm going to be outside for a while, of course I got to protect my skin, because burning your skin in the sun is one of the first ways that you're going to start getting wrinkles really quickly. So I have sunscreen. This is a combination of facial moisturizing lotion and sunscreen, SPF 30. And if I'm going to be outside, really sunny, I'll make sure I put this on before I go outside, just to protect my skin, to make sure I'm not damaging my skin from the sun. Even though this is something new I've been using, I find that it really blocks my pores, and I do seem to be getting acne if I use it too much. So I only put it on if I'm going to be outside in the sun for a long time. If I'm only going to be outside in the sun for 30 minutes, then I don't put it on, because again, it seems to clog my pores and give me acne. Oh, and I forgot one thing. In the shower, in the morning when I take a shower, I like to use this. This is this is all in Spanish. Basically an exfoliating gel, which I use on my face, a little bit on the body in the morning. So that's basically just to exfoliate my skin, make sure there's no particles that are clogging my pores. Now, this seems to be the best stuff according to the experts. This is also from La Roche-Posay, because a big thing that a lot of people do, and a big mistake they make, is they get the exfoliant with all the tiny microbeads or particles or sand, charcoal in it, which scrubs the skin. And many people will mistakenly think that that's good for the skin, when in reality, all you're doing is causing micro tears. And you do not want to be micro tearing your skin like that by rubbing particles and scraping it against your skin. It's not good for the skin, so don't make that mistake. If you are going to be using an exfoliant like this in the morning or at night, I use this in the morning for my shower. Make sure it doesn't have any beads, sand, dirt, charcoal in it. You want it to be soft, smooth, because that way it's not going to damage your skin. So yes, that's the morning. Shower, exfoliant, this hyaluronic acid, vitamin C serum, and if I'm going to be in the sun for a long time, this sunscreen and lotion. Now, I do put on body lotion because I want my skin to be soft, and of course, the first place that people are going to notice where you're aging is the face, but if you don't take care of the skin on the rest of your body, you'll also start getting wrinkles and it'll be noticeable that you're aging. So after a shower, whether it's in the morning or after I go to the gym, I'll put on some body lotion. Now, of course, I could use a special lotion just for the body or just for the hands or just for the feet. But I use this CeraVe. I don't even know how to pronounce this brand, but it's a brand that I use a lot. I'm going to say CeraVe. Let's say that. And I use this on my body. I use it for my feet, for my hands. I could even use it on my face, but I don't. It's just a good overall lotion you can use on many parts of your body. From my experience, it doesn't cause me to get acne. With some lotions, it will give you acne. And also with a lot of lotions, they'll have a lot of chemicals in them that are toxic for the body, and this more or less is a safe lotion to use. So this is the lotion I will use after the shower. You want to use lotion after the shower because that way any moisture that's still in your body will be more or less trapped between the lotion and your skin, and it will just moisturize better. Now there are some women, grandmas for example, who will do the shower, lotion, and then Vaseline over the lotion, something like that, to really get all the moisture trapped inside the skin. But I'm not going to go that far. I want to keep myself young, but I'm not going to be wasting 2 hours every day just to keep my skin young. I'm going to age. It's a natural thing. I'm not overly worried about it. All right. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, I go to the gym. In the gym, there's a good chance you're going to sweat. So when I get home, in Canada, luckily, we have lots of benzoyl peroxide body washes. And you can get either 5% benzoyl peroxide body washes or 10% benzoyl peroxide body washes. 5% is better for the face, and 10% is stronger, and it works better for the body, just because the skin on the body, it can handle a lot more extreme ingredients or harsh ingredients, whereas the skin on the face is a lot more sensitive. So you can't be doing that. But right now I'm in Argentina, and I went to the pharmacy. I did find most of the CeraVe skincare products, but they don't seem to have any benzoyl peroxide washes. But they do have benzoyl peroxide. So I was able to buy 5% benzoyl peroxide. I could use 10%, but for me, my acne on my body isn't so bad that I need 10%. So after the gym, I will wash my body a little bit, and then I'll put on this benzoyl peroxide. It's not a body wash, it's more like a cream. So I just put on the gel, the cream on my back, let it sit there for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Then I go to the shower, wash it off. And if I do that, then of course, I'll put on my body lotion afterwards. And what about before bed? The last thing that I do to keep myself looking good is what I do before going to bed. So right now, I think most women know about this, women who take care of their skin. I'm using this CeraVe retinol serum. Again, what does retinol do? I'm not an expert. I just listen to the experts. And all experts will say that you want to use a retinol. And they say use retinol before bed. So I put on this retinol on my skin before I go to bed. Retinol, it does something to stimulate the regeneration of skin cells. That's what I know. And they just say use it. I do believe there are stronger versions and weaker versions of retinol. I guess if you're really desperate to slow down the aging process, you can get prescription strength retinol. This isn't prescription strength. This is just a regular strength retinol. Again, I'm not so worried about getting old that I want to use prescription strength retinol. I could change my mind in the future, but for now, I'm just using this retinol serum before I go to bed. First, I put on the retinol serum, and then I'll put on this facial moisturizing lotion on top. And this is also from CeraVe. Again, just from what I've heard from other experts, this is some of the best lotion. CeraVe in general has some of the best skincare products, which don't have a lot of chemicals, and also at the same time are great for people who are dealing with acne, for example. So that's why I use CeraVe, and I use this facial moisturizing lotion. This is specifically for before going to bed. And yeah, that's everything I'm doing at the moment to keep my skin looking good. Like I said many times, I know that I'm not gonna stay young forever. I'm gonna slowly get older and older. At the same time, I don't wanna look like I'm 40 years old when in reality I'm 32 years old. And it's kind of funny, I'll meet Uber drivers or people the same age as me and they look like they're 32. Where people will meet me and I ask them, how old do you think I am? Not because I have a huge amount of pride, and it's the first thing I ask them, but people will ask me how old I am, and I will say, how old do you think I am? And I get people saying anywhere from between 22, which I don't think is very realistic, and 28 years old, and I'm 32. So usually people think I'm 4 years younger than what I actually am. And for me, that's mostly because I take care of myself, I eat good, and now I'm using all these skincare products to take care of myself as I slowly age. So hopefully you found this video interesting if you're also trying to take care of yourself. If you're interested in this type of thing, I think some people might call this biohacking. Some people might call this anti-aging. I don't know. I just call it taking care of myself and trying to look good, because looking good is half the battle in life most of the time. So, do you try to make yourself look good? Do you also deal with acne? If you do, well, let me know what you do down below in the comments. I would love to hear your strategy for battling these things. And that's it for now. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click on the bell icon to receive notifications when I release new videos. And I'll see you in the next video, my dear student.